Hi, Jerry Wilhite with FSIC. We're going to continue our roundtable discussion. And this week, we're going to speak a little bit about the frequently asked questions that have come in from our customers over the past few weeks. And the first question I'd like to address is, why have my contract prices changed? And I'd like to throw that to Dana Sharon, our COO. Go ahead, Dana.
Thank you, Jerry. And yeah, this is a question we're getting asked almost daily, is about contract prices. And what is happening and what we've seen in talking to distributors are that they are quite literally falling out of the system. The administrative people that used to handle these at the distributor were the first people that were let go during these troubled times. And you have a lot of other people that weren't familiar with the systems that were trying to get them in, get them loaded in the system, and make sure they were done right. What we have found is that it wasn't just that they were not getting them in, they're just overloaded because they're doing their jobs, working with the customers and getting them what they need, as well as trying to get that piece done. So we're working with them and getting those done and getting restitution taken care of on a monthly basis, but on an overall basis, we run contract variance reports for our customers on a quarterly basis that goes in and catches these variances and gets the customer restitution.
Well, Dana, one of the other issues, and again, working with supplier relations, I'm finding is that a lot of them aren't getting in time from the manufacturer, or those customers that manage their own contracts and send them to us or to the distributor aren't getting them in on time. And that's creating some issues too. But again, that gets back to not having enough people due to the furloughs and the layoffs. The second question that comes in and has come in quite frequently is, what should operators be doing to get the full benefit from their vendor partner? And I'm going to throw this out to our Director of Supplier Relations, Sharon Sosnowski.
Hi, Jerry. They should be doing weekly and monthly reviews of products being shipped. If subs are still an issue and there's pricing disparity, they could ask the distributor to help close that gap with the distributor allowance, or ask them to ship the spec.
Well, I think, Sharon, just again, based on yours and my specific conversations, it's so prevalent right now. It's so prevalent that they're getting products that they don't normally get. And because we have the technology available to see that, we're able to catch it, have the discussion. And to that point, and you and I discussed this a little bit this week, we have customers coming to us and going, hey, I got this sub. I'd like to take a look at the sub. The sub may work for me better and it may save me some money. So there's a lot of that work going on that we'll discuss further on in this conversation. I think what's happened is a lot of these programs are back-end loaded, meaning they go right from the manufacturer into the distributor systems. And I think what's happened, again, with people furloughed and laid off, some of those buttons may not be being pushed, as well as customers are adding on new units, the new units aren't getting attached to these programs. The unfortunate part, specifically in some of the agency billings with chemicals, is you'll see your price go from $70 to $170, or $120 for a rinse aid to $250. So these are very impactful to food cost and overall profitability for an account. So I know right now they're having issues with that. We say every time we get a new customer, the easiest thing to look at is beverage items or soda, or sugar water as they call it, and also looking at chemicals, because if pricing isn't right there, the pricing sent on that said charge $10, there's no markup, there's no additional freight, should be pretty easy to do, and we find errors in those areas quite often. Dana, do you have any additional input?
No, just to it is nobody's fault. And it is just the fact that there are so many people that were pushing these buttons and managing it that are now furloughed. That is the biggest reason for these errors, and we are able to go back and catch them and get that restitution. Yet again, this is another biggie. Historically, customers have received 1 or 2 subs on our quarterly reviews for a handful of items, they're now receiving anywhere from 3 to 10 subs on a substantial number of products. And a lot of it has to do with the product not being able to make it from the manufacturer over to the distributor. Distributors and their purchasers just don't have that specific item in stock. So whatever they do have, they want to fill those orders. They want to get the customer something. So if they don't have the specific toothpick or napkin or chicken breast, they're getting the customer something so they can stay in business, but it may not necessarily be their spec. So what that is also causing, a lot of those do happen to be contracted and proprietary items, which is going back to our first question, which was pricing on those items. Jerry, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I think part of it too, it's affecting the brand equity and guest experience as well. And the unfortunate part is you can't not send a chicken breast, or you cannot not send ketchup. The bottom line is the customer needs something, and the distributor is doing everything they can to fill these orders. It's getting better. Obviously, it got worse right after April. I think it's getting better, but also a lot of items are no longer available at the distributor. They've condensed their SKUs. I think every one of them has, from broadline to meat, seafood, you name it. Everybody's looked at their SKUs and trying to get more efficiencies in their warehouse with less people. And because of that, there's less items. But all we can do is continue to look at it, point it out, and obviously where there's products a customer desperately needs to not affect their brand equity or their guest experience, we're going to fight that they get it. Well, I'd like to kind of add on to what we were talking about with substitutions, and that is specifically what can be said about distributors' private brand and manufacturer brand. And I know there's been a lot of substitutions going back and forth both ways. And Sharon and I have discussed that, and I'll ask Sharon to speak about it a little bit further.
Well, with some of the products, the distributor brand and manufacturer brands they're virtually the same. If you can't get the price point you need, you may have to request the manufacturer brand. The most beneficial thing you can do for your business right now is to continually review the products that are being shipped. And also pay attention to the pack sizes, because on the distributor brand, the pack size may be different from the manufacturer brand. And again, make sure you look at your price points.
Sharon, in that situation, a lot of the manufacturer brands, their pack sizes are usually smaller, are they not? They're usually like a half pack or something like that.
Typically, yes.
One of the other things that comes into play that I see quite often or have been discussing is with customers that have never wanted us to look at changing their products. In fact, the thing they really liked about FSIC is we weren't a company or consulting company that went in and had relationships with vendors that we got paid from because we're only paid for by our customer. We didn't go in and change their products. But yet today, we're actually having customers come to us and go, with what's going on in the pandemic and a lot more takeout and whatever, are there other products that we could look at that could save us money? Because everybody's looking for opportunities to reduce costs, to help them be profitable when in fact they can't utilize their full facilities to bring in guests. So everybody's looking for opportunities to drop more money to the bottom line. And I think your point with manufacturer products versus national brand products or vice versa is really a key point in distribution today and supply chain. Thanks, Sharon. Well, and the last question today for the roundtable discussion for this week is, we do have these contract price errors, and, how do we get our money back on all these pricing errors that are coming through and have been coming through since the pandemic hit? And Dana, you touched on that a little bit earlier and talked about restitution and contract variance. So why don't you go ahead and add on to that?
Sure. What we do is look at contract pricing on a monthly basis. And what it lets us do is look at what you're supposed to have been charged versus what you were actually charged. We relay any variances and discrepancies to the distributor, and on a quarterly basis, we send them a report and go back after that money. So if there's $500, $1,000, $50,000 in the course of a quarter, we are going back after the distributor. We send them that information with all the detail they need to be able to research it and find out whether or not there was a reason for it and it was actually a valid overcharge or a valid increase in price, or whether or not there was an error. And we get that restitution, track it on a quarterly basis, and get those credits or statement credits back into your hands.
Well, Dana, as I shared on our last roundtable discussion, is that we had one account that we just did a quarterly review for that had a 10% additional cost in their contract items from contracts not being adhered to, not being loaded, didn't come in from the manufacturer. Again, a myriad of reasons, but 10% based on what they buy was substantial. In fact, the credit was probably higher than some accounts buy in a month. So the bottom line is, and I can tell you, your distributors, and I've stated this since I got in the industry, and I was a distributor for 22 years, my family back to 1911. None of us got up in the morning and said, how can we, affect our customer in a negative way to increase pricing? That isn't what happens. Unfortunately, we're still in a very manual business, and because of that, things happen. And because things happen, if you don't have the technology available to see what's going on, it's very difficult to catch these errors. But where you have technology in place to be able to inspect every single transaction off of every invoice, it gives you the ability to manage these types of things and make sure that at the end of the day, you're only paying what you agreed to pay that customer for those products, or that distributor for those products. Well, thank you very much for your time today. We're having fun doing these roundtables. We hope you're enjoying listening to them. And we'll tee one up and have one out in the next week or two. And we'll be back for our third roundtable discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.